driving somewhere with my two daughters, and one of them was saying something very important. And I heard the end of the sentence because I had this memory of finding a book by someone named Thomas Szasz entitled The Myth of Mental Illness. And I made this connection between this book and Palm Sunday. So when Samantha said, "Dad, are you listening to me?" And I said, "Well, I only heard the last part of your sentence because I just had this insight about what I'm going to say at Palm Sunday during the sermon." She was not persuaded. No one is a priest in his own home, you know. But what it reminded me of was the sort of insanity of what was happening with Jesus. So you have to remember, everything about Jesus is counter to the way that you and I are brought up. What we're learning about as we look at the gospel and the passion is the nature of true spiritual power in life. It runs counter to the world as we know it, and even the story of Jesus as the vulnerable child, his eschewing of political power, nonetheless, that created some kind of threat to the order of the Roman Empire, because crucifixion was reserved only for those people, not Roman citizens, who were considered a threat to the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, the Roman world order. So here is one who chose a path of nonviolent resistance, putting the love of God and others first, living out the great commandments in concrete form, and yet aroused such enmity. We've seen this before in history. The two most dramatic examples of how this actually works, how Gandhi and King, for example, also walked the path of nonviolence and died violent deaths. There's something about the way of peace that arouses something in people who are wedded to understanding living this world as a program for winning. I remember reading recently about CEOs. And, you know, we're all right now sort of preoccupied, if we think about it, with the growing disparity between the 1% and the 2% and everybody else. And so there are people who say, why are these people making so much money? What do they want? And one of them was actually interviewed. I don't remember which one it was. Someone who was a very successful entrepreneur, works very hard. That's his calling. He said, it's not that I need more money when I get a raise every year. It's because I want to win. That's something that is deeply ingrained in us, perhaps biologically, our limbic hindbrain. And even as I reflected upon in your presence before, driving somewhere, we always want to get there first. And when we feel like somebody's overtaking us, there's something about us that instinctively, maybe I'm the only one here that feels this way, want to speed up just a little bit. This morning on the way to church, there was someone who looked to be of retirement age, I'm making an ageist assumption, in a Ford LTD, sitting behind me at the light, and I'm driving a manual transmission, and it takes a little time to pull the clutch out in such a smooth manner as to get a nice start. Well, she was really impatient and swerved around me and raced me to the next red light, where we stopped together, had a moment of spiritual communion, and then she took the next right turn and parked in her driveway. Maybe her cat was hungry, I don't know. I suspect there was something more profound than that. I bring up the myth of mental illnesses because the point of the author was that the world is, even in the eyes of the Gospels, a fallen place. Creation is good. The world, we know, is not exactly how we are called to live. We're called apart from it. We don't want to be well adjusted to the world as we know it, because the world is sick and needs light, and it needs peace, and it needs someone from outside the order or the disorder that it represents to call it home. And that's what Jesus was about. And that's what those of us who he has invited to follow in his way, that is also our vocation. But it isn't always going to be an easy path. To the degree that we live it faithfully, we will arouse the enmity of certain institutions and people around us because we walk by a different rhythm and a different wisdom. So reflect on your own life and see those pressure points between what you know Jesus would have us do and what we feel is natural to do. In the words of the great Albus Dumbledore, on the eve of the great confrontation between the Death Eaters and the good wizards and witches, Harry Potter, the time has come to take either the path that is right or the path that is easy. Amen.